Right, we've got a number of notices this morning, so bear with me. But I'm going to start by asking the very sparkly Julia Jaeger to come and join me on the stage. Here she is. Come and join me, Julia. So this lovely lady has been project managing our big building project for 8 years, and for some reason she's decided that maybe it's time to take a break from that. And if you see on the screen, there's just a few images from some of the things that Julia has been responsible for leading. She helped us in our refurbishment of the downstairs toilet. That was the first thing. That was the beginning. And then she oversaw, during the COVID pandemic, the building of the lighthouse down behind the vicarage and the glebe garden. And so now we have that wonderful space for our kids and youth. And then this year, she has overseen the work of the transformation of the kitchen. So we just want to take a few minutes this morning to thank and honour you. And we do have a present. We have a peace lily. And I've got a card here for you, and there's just another little gift in there as well. Oh, actually, I've just thought you're going to want to say something, so let me just put that on the floor for you. I should have done that at the end. But yeah, I just know that you want to say a few words.
Thank you. It's been an honour to do this, although when we set out, I don't think we ever knew we would have to cope with an interregnum and a COVID pandemic, hence 8 years. Plus, at the beginning, I don't know how to put this tactfully, Alan, dealing with the DAC, the diocesan architect, but we'll just park that with the bishop. It's not been me, it's been a whole team of people that God has brought together for some reason, obviously, at this time to do the work. First of all, Ron for kick-starting the project, Claire for beginning the kitchen plans, and then obviously we had Malcolm. Malcolm is a hidden gem. If you've never met Malcolm, you have missed out, because his work is all around the maintenance of this building. I don't know how long he's been doing it for. Barbie will tell you. Is it about 100 years? Malcolm is amazing what he knows about this building and all the keys he has. He was such an asset. And then he helped me with overseeing the field. You know, God had this in plan a long time ago. I can't believe that when that housing estate was built round the back in, I forget the name of the road, that they didn't offer money to buy some of the garden off the vicarage, but it was kept as a field, and therefore we were able to fit a modular building, and the drive was exactly the minimum size that we could use to get the crane in to build it. The pictures of that were absolutely amazing when they came in and built it. And we came through the interregnum, and now the kitchen is just absolutely fantastic. Donna and I went visiting kitchens to look at what was good, what would work, what wouldn't work on the large scale for feeding at the when we have the food bank, and also for church activities. If you think in the past we've been either had to bring in pizzas, bring your own, or get fish and chips from next door. Now we can do catering, and the amazing Brad, who was off work and able to write all the policies. He's such a whiz on health and safety. You know, it's all done. Barbie for managing the financial books, and Geraint, Geraint, who seems to be able to do anything. You know, he's got an idea about sorting out the field at the back, negotiating with the builder, the architect, then we're moving things around in the kitchen, and something needed cleaning, and he just got down on his knees and cleaned it. Mrs. Geraint might not realise that, but he's quite a whiz at cleaning out fridges. So it's not just me, it's the team, and of course Alan overseeing it all, just coming in on the back of what Ron started. So Thank you. I will admit, though, one failure was that I started out to deal with the toilet block. And it's still there. Sorry about that. But will you forgive me that? You've got all the rest. Thank you.
Can we give Julia, yes, a big cheer? Thank you so much. A very well-earned rest for you with your peace lily. Well, on that note, I do actually have some news for you this morning about the toilet block. So that was a nice segue, Julia. Thank you for that. And also for the lovely Brad Loader, who has agreed, with his arm twisted, no, he was very happy to agree to take over from Julia in some of the project management aspects of the final stage of our building project. So I've got another slide for you. So on the left-hand side, you will see the current state of that back corner of the church. It's not pretty, and it hasn't been finished since the church was built. And the original plans that we submitted were to build a 2-story extension there that would have a downstairs toilet area and then an upstairs room for our young people. And that's been our plan for a long time. And we know from some costings that we've done that would cost about £500,000 and would take several years to raise the money and to then build. So there has been a new plan agreed by the PCC in the last couple of months, and that is that we're actually going to pivot, and rather than go for a building, we're actually going to replace that area with a 2-story porta cabin that will be clad to look more attractive than just a porta cabin, but that will give us a new downstairs toilet block and an upstairs loft for the youth. They don't know this. Even Daisy and James don't know this. So you can't see very well on here, but you get a broad idea. On the greyed out thing shows like a sideways view of a staircase that would be out of this door that would take you to the 2 levels of the block, and then the drawing at the bottom is kind of Geraint's visual representation of what the youth space might look like, and how they sort of have this open space. We hope to make it nice and cozy and fun in there as well. There was several sort of sense of urgencies that we were driven by in this. Was that firstly, we know that this porta cabin's been out of date for a very long time. The toilets are falling apart. We've had a number of call-outs to try and fix it. Not that I've done anything, but, you know, other people have done things to fix them, and we know that they're really not any good anymore. We desperately want to reopen a creche for our 0 to 3s. And the obvious place to do that is up in the chapel, but Sparks are in there because the youth are in the Sparks room. So actually what this will mean for us is that the youth can move into their own space, Sparks can move to their own place, and we'll be able to reopen a creche, which I know will be so important for the families in our church and hopefully for the families that will begin to come to our church when we have got that provision. And we think that the estimated cost for this project will be around £100,000. We don't have quite that much in the bank, so we probably need to raise between about £30,000 to £50,000, depending on some of the quotes that we don't yet have around the groundworks and other bits and pieces. But that feels like a much more achievable amount of money to raise than £500,000. So we will be doing some fundraising. We will come back out to you with ways that you can contribute to that. Obviously, we'll be applying to every place that we can to try and get that money as soon as possible. And if we can get it, then our hope would be that it was up and running within a year. So, if not sooner, but certainly our goal would be within a year, which will be a lot quicker than the original plans. So I hope that that sounds exciting. I know it's not quite the all singing, all dancing, fancy building that we perhaps thought we were going to have, but maybe God's saying we don't need all singing, all dancing, fancy building, and actually we can do with something that we can have sooner and get to the end of worrying about building work for a while, which would be really lovely. So watch this space. There'll be more information. You might see planning permission going out if you live locally. So the other piece of good news is that we're planning to use the same company that built the lighthouse, so we already know that they're good, they're reliable, and they deliver a good product. So that's the end of that. Have I covered everything? Great. Okay. Right, moving on. If you've got any questions, ask Geraint.